Oh boy, we're live. What's up, everyone? What about some breaking news right after trivia gets done? I'd just like to thank Field Yates for putting that out there the moment we ended trivia. You know, get my ducks in a row, so to speak, rather than during trivia when it flustered me. But hey, also, I'm out of beer, as I said at trivia. So I'm drinking whiskey with how many people in America do you think are drinking whiskey with a X-Wing fighter ice cube? Because that's me. That's my life. That's just something I'm into. So Devin Funchess, yes, reportedly. And Field usually has access to the transaction wires prior to their release by the NFL. So that's usually where he's getting his info. Got to think that he will appear on today's transaction wire later as a COVID-19 opt-out. There is no word. I reached out to a couple of people I know with the Packers to see if, because there are two designations you can be, either having what's called like some kind of medical reason, you're high risk, etc., which carries a different financial package essentially for opting out, or there's a pandemic going on, I don't want to play, I'm going to toll my contract and come back next year, where you get a $150,000 stipend, which actually is basically a long-term loan on whatever you're going to make the following year that you would have made this year, etc. But no word yet on as to which of those designations he is, but he is going to be opting out of 2020. So obviously, the question that follows upon is, what does this mean for the rest of the wide receiving core? And look, who knows? Maybe there's some other wide receivers who are going to be opting out as well. We still don't know. But as it stands here at 6:05 p.m. Eastern, I know, and I jokingly said Kumaro season on Twitter, just because, you know, anytime you got the chance to mention touchdown Jesus, you got to take it. But really, and I know Begleton is a name, the CFL kid who a lot of people are pulling for. It certainly helps his chances. There's zero doubt about that. But mostly, I think this is excellent for EQ. I think he's probably the most kind of physically gifted of all the other guys who are going to be trying to basically get on the field after Devontae Adams and Allen Lazard. He has a lot to prove as far as this system, having never played in it. You have to think the next time they take the field will be the first time he's ever done anything in this system as a wide receiver. But I think he's got the biggest upside of everybody that's remaining. And all those kind of, Funchess will be the red zone target, Funchess will be the wide receiver 3, blah, blah, blah. That all probably comes down to a competition, but I would think my hunch is that that's EQ's gig if he proves it, if he comes out and does what I think he's capable of. Now, that said, I wouldn't just completely dismiss either Begleton or Kumaro, especially Kumaro because of his blocking ability. And in this offense, we've seen how important that is to not only Matt LaFleur, but to the productivity of the running backs when they certainly when they break outside the pocket and get on the edge, and you want to seal that edge, you want to eliminate that corner over there. Kumaro has done it. And hell, Kumaro took out defensive ends. Go back and look at the Seattle playoff game. Go back and look at I think it's the Washington game. That guy is unafraid to stick his nose in there. So that will always help his cause. Now, I'm not saying you make the determination because he's a good blocker. Obviously not. But it is certainly something they will be talked about as they evaluate their roster. Martin W. What a joke. Release his ass. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why would they release him? The man made a decision to opt out. We have no idea why. One would suspect that he is worried about either his own health and or the health of his loved ones. That's his prerogative. Also, the NFL has said you can opt out. If your job told you you can go away for a year, come back next year, you still got your job, we'll give you this stipend to live on, it's actually just a loan from what you're going to make next year, you wouldn't take it? Get the fuck out of here. You're trash fucking shit. Come on. Be better than that. Antonio Brown. Okay, now we're only 4 minutes and 39 seconds into the chat, and we're already off the rails. Taylor Gabriel. I would love Taylor Gabriel. I've been wishing for Taylor Gabriel basically since the start of free agency. I would suspect that those conversations have been had, and for whatever reason, Gutekunst and company don't think he's a good fit. Now, I would love him. I think he was criminally misused in Chicago, and I would also suspect that his history of concussions is probably working against him, because you don't want to put time, energy, what have you, give reps to a guy who is basically one hit away, and they kind of all are, I understand that, but a guy who has a history of head injuries, head trauma, concussions, where another one could possibly land him on IR and out for the year like that. Certainly we saw Sam Shields go down that route, and now, of course, he has come back, played with the Rams, played at a high level, but I would think they will continue to utilize the guys they have on hand. I've been pining for Taylor Gabriel. Taylor Gabriel and Snacks Harrison have been the two guys I have talked about all offseason, who I know there's probably very little to no chance that either of those signings happen, but I'd be all for it. No doubt about it. Can't miss what you never had. Fair point. Frank, thanks to the super chat. Hate to say it, but for Adams, wouldn't opting out make sense for him, considering he has a newborn, is financially well, and whose spot is secure? Yeah, I mean, I would not begrudge him in the slightest. Now, for whatever reason, guys have, especially we've seen it with the Patriots today, been opting out because they have young children. We saw it with the Eagles wide receiver who they picked up in free agency. Godwin just put up a video about his newborn, who you saw in the video playing around. Look, guys can be sensitive to that fact, and if they do opt out, then, I totally understand, and more power to them. I have little doubt that Adams has weighed that, undoubtedly talked to his wife, his extended family. I would think if he is in Green Bay, and now here's the other thing, we don't know. I haven't seen any reports of his arrival. I've seen a video of Rodgers arriving, Bakhtiari arriving, a bunch of other guys arriving. Haven't seen Adams yet, though. So who knows? Maybe he's still weighing that. That's a possibility. And that's the other thing. There is no, as of right now, today at 6:10 p.m. as we're talking, there is no cap on when. There's no deadline on when these guys have to opt out. As of right now. Now, that could change and probably will change. But as of now, as they go through testing, initial kind of input, they are allowed to opt out for the next couple days. So things could still change in that regard. Taylor Gabriel season. I love it. Bring back Bill Schrader. Wow. How come these guys don't trust the data? Gary, it depends on what data you're talking about. And I'm not going to get political here, but look, I understand that people who want to go about daily life and pretend like this is no big deal talk about mortality rates. And certainly mortality rates are low if you look at it through a certain lens. However, the virus does more than just kill people. It severely affects people. It severely affects not only the person, in this case, the player, but also everyone they come in contact with, i.e. their extended family. If they are fine with it, that's one thing. But if their family is susceptible to injury or to illness, is in a high-risk group, of course it makes sense that they want to opt out. And that's the other thing. Fine. So let's say NFL players get it and they're fine. They're big, strong guys. We saw a video of Von Miller working out the other day. He looks great. He got it back in March. I understand that. But we also know that this is a disease, an illness that affects your respiratory, your heart, all sorts of different aspects of your body. And everybody is seemingly reacting differently to it. So what if you're the one guy or one of a couple guys who this affects your breathing for the rest of your life or gives you an irregular heartbeat for the rest of your life? Oh, but Gary said, trust the data. Sorry about your bad breathing for the rest of your time on this earth. That's why they don't, quote unquote, trust the data. I understand, man. It's frustrating. We all have been cooped up. I've been in this fucking apartment for months. I get it, man. We all want to get back to life. But I do not begrudge a single NFL player for saying, you know what? Peace. I got 150 grand to live on for a year. I got my family to think about. I'll have fun watching the games on TV. That is their union has negotiated that possibility for them. God bless every single one of them that takes them up on it. Because God knows if Corey Banke told me, hey, Aaron, you don't have to do anything for a year. Here's 150 grand. Go ahead. I'll see you next year. You better fucking believe you'd be done with these daily chats, kids. please. Who do you think is better, Hundley or Trubisky? Hundley! No question about it. Did you see that Arizona game when he had to come in for Murray last year? Help beat the Seahawks? Brett Hundley, baby. Give it to me. Joseph, that is outstanding. Thank you for the super chat. Goody should flex and have Jordan Love opt out. Get a 6th-year option. That's outstanding. I love it. How great would that be? Jordan Love's like, peace. Great to be here. I love the league. I love what you're doing with the place. I'll be back next year. Yeah, you got Boyle as the backup, right? He was there last year, knows the system, been in there for 2 years. I'm all in. I love it. Who knows? Maybe that's what Belichick's talking to his guys about. Got 6 guys. You'd miss us, Nags. David, I'd miss some of you. You in particular, though. I'd definitely miss you. So, I think I missed a super chat up here. Dustin, what's up? No loss. Bring in Taylor Gabriel. We talked about it right at the beginning of the chat. I'd love Taylor Gabriel, but I do not think he is in Green Bay's plans in any way, shape, or form. They've had every opportunity to sign him, and they've said no. His history of concussions probably works against him. So I'd be for it, but I doubt it. Right shot. Well, shit. Ooh, wow. Brant, that is an amazing question. Who is more memorable, Vernon Morency or Noah Herron? I'll go with Morency because he was really good on screenplays. How about that? Brandy, hi, Brandy. I haven't seen you in ages. Can players be traded the same league year if they opt out? No, they cannot. They go on it's kind of like being on the retired list, only it's a non-injury list. So no, their rights cannot be traded. They are basically, they don't exist for a year, essentially, is how it works. Jair seemed to fall off a little bit after the first couple of weeks. What do you think happened? I'm not sure I agree with your police work there, John. I think he was inconsistent at times, but for the most part, I think he played at a pretty damn high level. There's occasions where he gets beat, no doubt about it. I would encourage you to listen to my podcast, Nagler's Never Right, on the Patreon channel. I talked with Matt Schneidman about this pretty extensively in regards to not only his game, but Kevin King's and how they complement each other. But, I wouldn't say that he fell off. I think he gets a little too aggressive at times for his own good, but he's still one of the better quarters talent-wise in the league. He just has to be a little bit more consistent. Dustin again. Thanks for the super chat. No loss. Bring in BJ Raji. You crazy. What's up, peeps? All good? Brandy, where you been? Haven't seen you in ages. How you doing? I guess maybe because I'm doing an afternoon, so you're here. You're never here in the mornings. I get it, man. We're all on different schedules. Lazard, 87 catches and 1,125 yards, 6 touchdowns. DP. I like where your head's at. I highly doubt it, but I'm all in. Give it to me. There's a ton of space in the Reggie Begelton ship. Hey, man. It only helps him. Funchess opting out only helps Begelton, who I've been saying all summer is a very big long shot, needs to kill it on special teams, needs to make a play pretty much every day in practice for the coaches to go, hey, well, we got something here. Can it happen? Sure. 100% could happen. Still a long shot, but yes, Funchess being out undoubtedly helps his case. No question about it. More hard-hitting questions, Nagler. Love at wide receiver and Rodgers at QB, or Rodgers at wide receiver and Love at QB. Are you crazy? Of course, Love at wide receiver and Rodgers at QB. Come on. BJ Rashi for president. Yep, I'm down for that. Any concern about QB1 moving on to Tequila, DeMario? This is the breaking news of the day. I mean, much more so than any Devin Funchess opting out news. No question about it. For those of you who are unaware, QB1 sat down with Kyle. I think people in the Twitter sphere who cover the NFL are rooting for the virus. Brandt on his latest podcast for The Ringer, which is apparently launching in August, and told him that he has been switching from his very public stance of always being a Scotch guy to drinking tequila. When Jordan Love was drafted, he poured himself 4 fingers of tequila This is a big moment in Packer history, people. So I haven't fully been able to, really digest and take on fully the ramifications of this switch. Now, is it his palate is expanding and he's open to more experiences, or is it he has really gone off scotch and is going all in on tequila? Because if that is the case, that is worrisome. That is very worrisome. And I hope to sit down with him sometime this season, finally have that one-on-one I've only been trying to get for a decade, and really kind of dive deep on this subject. Andy, thanks for the super chat. Hey, Nags, what are the cap implications of a Funchess decision? They gain a little over $2 million in cap space. They will put him on a reserve list, and they get that quote-unquote cap space back. So I think his contract was like $2.5 million or so, around there. What his hit was, I think it was hovering just under $3 million. So they'll get that space back. I know there was a report yesterday that I think it was Rob Domofsky reported their cap space was around just over $11 million. So this should put them at around 13, essentially. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. No loss, bring in Jeff Janis. How much does Michael Pierce and Eddie Goldman opting out help the Packers? Immensely, Sam. Huge, bigly, monstrally. Corey Linsley sitting at home right now going, oh, that's a shame. Yes, big help for the Packers. Not only in the 2 times that they played them, but that significantly lessens just the talent level on both of those teams, especially the Bears. Goldman's a monster. So obviously, I completely understand their decisions. That is their decision to make. I am very, 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 very happy as a Packers fan to have really talented players say sayonara for a year for my division rivals. Those are just facts. I only speak the truth. Joel, thanks for the super chat. You ready for no sports in 2020? We may all need tequila. Love you, Nags. Joel, let me tell you something. I was up until like damn 1:30 in the morning last night watching the Brewers miracle comeback after a hour and a half rain delay, going to extra innings. Dude, that's sports. I'm all in. I keep saying the same thing day after day after day on these chats. I'm in until there's nothing to be in on. Right now, season's full bore ahead, full steam ahead. Guys are opting out. Fine. The train's going to keep running. I'm on the train. When they tell me there's no more Packers season, then I will be depressed and I will be sad. But until that happens, salut, man. Bottoms up. Let's go. Oh, wow. Brian going all fantasy football on us. Josh Gordon, Taylor Gabriel, Demaryius Thomas, or Jordy. Wow. Out of all of those, who do I think is the most likely? Taylor Gabriel. None of those are going to get calls. But if I had to guess, Taylor Gabriel would be the guy who would get a call. Brewers, best team in the major leagues. Woo! Okay, Big B. Calm down, buddy. Calm down. A great game last night, but woo, they can't hit for a fucking lick so far early in the season. Nags, hope all the cheeseheads out there stay safe. Brandy, I'm with you, and I hope you stay safe as well. Thanks for joining us here on Cheesehead TV. Thank you all for joining me while I chat little Devin Funchess news. Jordy Nelson. Guys, Jordy Nelson ain't coming back. Come on now. Just relax. Just dial it back, all right? Relax. 2.5 million, bring some snacks. What's funny, Iran, is that there was a report earlier today about how now Snacks is sitting there going, I don't know if I want to play. So any team reaching out now is going to be like, wait a second. Been sitting out there on the street for months, and now he's thinking about opting out, even without a team to opt out on. So I would be shocked if he gets a call. Frank, thanks for the super chat. I support Rodgers' switch to tequila. I was in Oaxaca last summer and drank tons of it and regret nothing / everything. Go Pack Go, have my money. Frank, thank you very much. My best friend in the whole world, Luke Laga, used to manage a tequila bar. So I have had my fair share of evenings where I have been elated on tequila and then reaped the, I guess, quote unquote rewards, which is really regret the next day. But A good tequila? Yeah, I'm in on that. Which, let's be honest, if it's QB1, 12 sitting at home, going to his pantry, as he said, to grab, that's the good shit. Come on. He ain't sitting there with no nonsense. 265 people in here. Hit like, hit subscribe, become a patron. Joseph M. preaching the gospel. Come on, people. Hit like on the video. Hit subscribe on the channel. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. That said, I got to get going because I got to A, eat dinner, and then B, I'm playing a patron tonight. Neil and I are having our rubber match. I won the first game. He won the second game tonight. The Cheesehead TV Twitch. Just search Cheesehead TV on Twitch. You'll find it. That stream will go live at 8 o'clock to watch me defeat the patron. No, I have no idea. He'll probably kick my ass, but it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks a lot for chatting with me. I'll be back in the morning for Packers Daily at 10 a.m., barring any other news. Who knows? Maybe, Corey Linsley will opt out at midnight, and then I'll have to come back on. But in the meantime, hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night.